Tonight, our special coverage as Palestinians in Gaza celebrate the joy of an unconventional marriage ceremony in a United Nations-run school. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Aisha Ashraf. Israel's war in Palestine is now in its fourth month. In the past 24 hours, Israeli airstrikes have resulted in the deaths of at least 125 Palestinians. 226 Palestinians have been injured. Gaza has suffered a complete telecommunications blackout for over 48 hours. 2 employees have been killed while trying to restore the services. Overnight, intense clashes occurred in the area of Khan Yunis as Israel's army expands its operations in the eastern and southern areas. In the occupied West Bank, Israeli military attacks have killed 5 Palestinians. 3 of them were in their teens. Israeli forces have arrested 25 students during a sit-in at An-Najah University. Israel's defense minister post-war plan suggests a transition of governance to Palestinian civil committees in Gaza. He says the war will continue until Israel has dismantled Hamas's military and governing capabilities and secured the return of prisoners. The proposal was unveiled during a recent trip of the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, to Israel. A Houthi spokesperson says U.S. attacks in Yemen will not deter Houthi actions against Israel-linked ships in the Red Sea. As of today, the Palestinian death toll stands at 23,968. Another 8,000 Palestinians are presumed dead under the rubble. 60,582 have been wounded. Israel's revised death toll from Hamas's attack stands at 1,139. The United Nations says Israel's war in Palestine has made the region, quote, uninhabitable. The UN has expressed grave concern about a humanitarian crisis. Estimates by the UN show that 1.9 million Palestinians have been displaced since the onset of Israel's war. Thousands are facing famine and disease. South Africa's genocide case against Israel in the International Court of Justice has sparked worldwide reactions. South Africa filed an urgent request on December 29th with the World Court. The filed document said that Israel violated the 1948 Genocide Convention during its attacks on Gaza. The petition cited extensive destruction and casualties. Following the petition, Turkey has expressed support for South Africa's case. Jordan is not only backing the case, but has also helped South Africa in submitting legal documents. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Malaysia, Bolivia, and Venezuela have voiced their support for South Africa's case. The Maldives, Namibia, and Pakistan are also supporting South Africa's case. France has not disclosed its stance. However, it says it will accept the World Court's decision. Belgium has not yet announced whether it will support South Africa's case or not. The U.S., a longtime Israeli ally, has dismissed the genocide charge as baseless. The UK is not supporting South Africa's fight against injustice. A Gaza native, Afnan Jibril, has celebrated her wedding in a United Nations-run school amid the raging war. In an act of courage, Jibril, dressed in a white dress with red embroidery, joined her partner Mustafa Shamlakh in making the most of their rare opportunity to rejoice. Despite the challenges posed by the conflict, the couple danced and laughed. The guests also celebrated as they sprayed white mousse around the room. Both the bride and the groom are among those displaced by Israel's indiscriminate attacks. The groom's uncle says the groom's intended residence has been destroyed by Israeli forces. Undeterred by the circumstances, both families decide not to wait, agreeing to proceed with the marriage. The groom says all the Palestinians in Gaza are living the same tragedy. He says, however, Palestinians in Gaza must continue to live, and life should go on. Following a school celebration, the newlyweds headed towards a ceremony in a tent. 5 Canadian politicians are visiting Jordan and the West Bank to meet Palestinian refugees and progressive Israeli groups. The delegation includes Liberal MPs Salma Zahid and Shafqat Ali. They're accompanied by New Democratic MPs Heather McPherson, Matthew Green, and Lindsay Matheson. The trip is sponsored by the Canadian Muslim Vote, a non-profit Muslim charity. The MPs hope to gain first-hand insight into the humanitarian crisis in the region. They also aim to engage with Jewish organizations advocating for peace. This visit follows Canada's vote for a ceasefire at the UN General Assembly in December. The MPs will meet with Palestinian communities and visit refugee camps during their trip. In northwest France, an attack on the Saint-Martin-des-Champs mosque in Bretagne has raised concerns among the Muslim community. An individual set fire to a mosque room's door this past Saturday. No casualties have been reported. French Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin is prompting an investigation. He has voiced his support for Muslims in the region. The incident comes as France is witnessing a surge in hate crimes against Muslims. Last year in November, Pessac Mosque in Gironde was vandalized with Islamophobic graffiti, including threatening messages. Some perpetrators used the crosses of Lorraine, a symbol associated with far-right causes in France, alleging Muslim invasion in France. In related news, France has introduced a law aimed at restricting the appointment of foreign clerics. The French government says the law will curb the spread of what it calls extremism. The law prohibits foreign imams from working in the country. The existing ones are either being repatriated or reassigned to lower-level roles in local mosques. Their existing roles will be taken up by officials recruited by the French government from the Forum of Islam. The Forum is responsible for guiding and monitoring the country's Muslim communities to prevent radicalization. Critics are concerned about the representation of France's Muslim population in the new body. President Emmanuel Macron initiated this move in 2020 to secularize the Islamic institutions in France. Last year in August, France banned traditional Islamic garb from public schools. The move received a severe backlash. Many consider the policy to suppress Muslim identity. France also passed a secular upholding Republican values law in 2021. The law gives the government powers to dissolve religious organizations with values counter to French Republican values. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says he will consider designating the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is a multi-service primary branch of the Iranian armed forces. Trudeau made the announcement on the anniversary of the victims of Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752. The Iranian forces shot down the plane in January 2020. 176 people died. Among the casualties, 55 were Canadians. For years, families of the victims have urged Canada to label the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist group. Canada had previously designated the Quds Force, a branch of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, as a terrorist organization in 2012. Experts say Canadian law needs to be strengthened to combat the Iranian forces effectively. The U.S. declared the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps a terrorist group in 2019 under the then President Donald Trump. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a not-for-profit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad.